And we're back. Okay, family, so we're back. We got cut off, but I think it's important to come back with part two because I want to discuss what NESARA is. So, as we said, we're going through a time period where we have National Guard on the ground. Yes, we have school closings, we have retail store closings, we have modifications going on in the banks, and all type of things happening right now, as well as flight cancellations. So in my part one video, I discussed how you can look at the live website and see that thousands of flights are being canceled by the second. What is going on? It's something big. We also know that number 46 canceled his State of the Union address, which normally happens in January and at the very latest, the beginning of February. Well, he canceled it and allegedly postponed it until March 6th. What's going on? Well, we know before this alleged State of the Union to Congress address was supposed to happen March 1st, we know that Truth Social is supposed to be launched, which is 45, or actually number 19, if you go by who's the lawful president according to the Republic, the restored Republic, or the Republic for the United States of America. He's number 19, formerly known as number 45. His social media platform is supposed to be launched on in February. So let's look at the timeline. Today is the 13th. 13 is a magical, beautiful number, as I said, which is a number of abundance, prosperity, and power. Now, when the nefarious beings took over, they said that number 13 was a horrible, scary number, but it's not. They're wrong. Look at the number 13 and you'll see it's the same thing as a B and the same thing as an 8. And 8 is the number of abundance. Likewise, 13 is about peace, prosperity, and power. So on today, on the 13th, hone in all that internal wonderful magical energy and focus through your first eye, what they call the third eye, which is actually your first eye. Focus your attention through that. Envision what it is you desire for this beautiful new reality that's coming online, and therefore manifest it, because we're living in a time of abundance. It doesn't matter what the news media says. You know, they are a CIA operation that will soon be overtaken by the military. So we're in the midst of the National Guard deployment, store closings, retail closings, flight cancellation, an alleged surge of the moronic sickness, which, remember, that variant starts with an O, but if you scramble those letters, it come out and reorganize them, it comes out moronic. So we're in the midst of all these things. But as I was saying, this is a time to look at opportunities. So those people who have an abundance mindset will look at all this so-called mayhem and chaos and say, this is an opportunity for me to create my own business. This is an opportunity with Walmart closing down their bakeries and their auto mechanic shop and their clothing area, their food, all that. This is an opportunity to do a massive resurgence of mom and pop shops. You have family members who can bake, who can cook, who can sew, who can work on cars. We can go back to having all that in our communities. That's exciting. Now, you might ask me, where's the money coming from? From where's all this money coming, Dr. Pruitt? What I said to you in the last video before I got cut off was it's coming from many, many sources. We have gold stored in the Grand Canyon, which is why you can't hike in certain areas, because there are pyramids there. Pyramids are in Egypt. They're all over the country, all over the world, but we're actually in Egypt. So there are pyramids in the Grand Canyon full of millions of tons of gold. Now, what they did is say you can't go there. They blocked it off. But when Mr. T, the 19th president of this republic, formerly known as 45, when he was still before us, we know he's still in power behind the scenes, but when he was before us, he actually opened up the seal, because they had sealed it off and sealed off the information of how much gold was stored there. And they said that nobody was allowed to hike there. And then they created the Federal Reserve to create a fiat system backed by nothing. They didn't want you to know about that gold. Well, now lots of countries have had their gold repatriated to them. The gold was taken from the Pope that was stolen from all these countries. The gold was taken from the alleged lizard queen. All this has happened behind the scenes. Then you have your Saint Germain Trust, your Rodriguez Trust, your Filipino, other Philippine trusts, and trusts from different dynasties all across the planet, even ancient Chinese dynasties that are not associated with the CCP. Speaking of China, I recommend you look at a beautiful, beautiful ballet called Shen Yun. Shen Yun is traveling all across the country. It's a beautiful ballet and opera that shows you and displays how wonderful the culture was before the communists took over. Oh, it's amazing. You have to see it. It is true entertainment. It's beautiful colors, beautiful dancing. Excellent talent, phenomenal talent. It is inspiring, it's encouraging, it's joyful, it's peaceful, and it's loving. You have to see Shen Yun when it comes to your city. So these are the things that have been kept from us when they installed these negative paradigms, this negative low vibrational music, movies, and print media and mainstream media. They did all that, took away the joyful entertainment, and put on this oppressive, hateful, violent, aggressive stuff to lower our vibrations so that we can emit loose, that's a low vibrational energy of fear and anger, hatred, and violence, because it would keep us from ascending to our highest selves. And this is the energy that low vibrational extraterrestrial beings would feed or eat. It's true. Just like if somebody comes around you that's negative and low vibrational, you can feel that. But because you're a good being, it doesn't feed you. It actually brings you down. But when you're around positive, high energetic people with an abundance mentality that sees opportunities in everything, your vibrations raise and it feeds you like food, doesn't it? Like manna from on high. So that's why we created this channel, to have everybody to raise our vibrations and reach our maximum potential. So you have people in your family who can cook, who can clean and create cleaning businesses, people who can create farms. And when your people and you go back to farming and planting and gardening, you will help to save us from the food shortage. We each play a part in our evolution. This is so exciting. No more depending on these big old corporations. No more driving to the Walmart store. You can give me food. Create it with your own hands. Now, this money is going to come from the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, as well as all those other monetary sources that I told you about, those trusts. And the National Economic Security and Reformation Act is known as NESARA. The global aspect of that, or the global mirror of that, is the GESARA, or people say GESARA, the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act. So what happened was, in the 1990s, a group of farmers went before higher courts, and they took the United States corporation to court, and they took these world health organizations and these other organizations that had told farmers, you're not allowed to plant healthy seeds. You can only use Monsanto seeds. You can only do what we tell you to do. You can't use organic seeds. They were doing this to the farmers, and they were also giving them loans and telling them the only way you can get money from the government is if you do things that are unhealthy. So they made the farmers be complicit in their shenanigans to make us sick, and the farmers didn't want to do that. Nobody wants to poison their own family members. We're all one human family. That's ridiculous, right? So they took them to the highest court, to world courts, and the courts discovered, they probably already knew this, I'm sure, with the help of our extraterrestrial family who's here to help liberate us and excel our ascension. They took them to court, and the courts found that not only had they mistreated the farmers and caught them up and given them exorbitant interest rates, which you also call usury, and they made them slaves and debt slaves, and they came, and if you didn't comply with them as a farmer, they stole your farm. So the World Court says not only did these systems and their Federal Reserve banking system mistreat farmers, but they mistreated people all across the globe. And they said, we must do something about this. So they gathered a military from all over the world, and we call them the military white hats. And they gathered bankers and leaders who would not be complicit, and leaders from all aspects and segments of the society, to come together to help take down these nefarious beings. And we call them the NESARA White Knights. So your NESARA White Knights, oops, this camera, and your military white hats got together, and they're being led by the Galactic Federation of Worlds, or of Lights, however you want to see it, which is our galactic brothers and sisters. And they created a massive, massive program with military and psyops and all kinds of programs to take down these nefarious beings who are actually human and extraterrestrial hybrids, and some of them are reptilians, draconians, and other type of extraterrestrials that came to colonize us and keep us from ascending. So they created the National Economic Security and Reformation Act. I'm sure they had their own name for it. And year after year, they tried, these good people who were, they call the white hats, or benevolent people, leaders, tried to get each government to comply. But you know, the dark side will always fight you, even if they know they're going to lose. So they've been fighting and fighting. Well, in 2001, Clinton was allegedly forced to sign GESARA into law. And what was supposed to happen was the gold that was to help liberate us was actually stored in the towers. Well, they took out the gold. They took out certain people, the nefarious beings, because they didn't appreciate the military storming the White House and forcing Clinton to sign NESARA into law. And they did something that we call 9/11, so that we would not have this wonderful announcement that was supposed to come from the Pentagon on 9/11. And it's to let us know that we had been liberated, and the gold would be used to offset everybody's debt, to pay this country's debt, other world's debt, along with the money that they had, and to offset all the debt of every person here. Because actually, if you know the law, you understand that when you were born, your birth certificate was created and monetized, circulated on a stock exchange, and made these billionaires lots and lots of money. So, but that account was actually supposed to be created for you and me, so that if we ever had any debt, if we ever bought anything, it would offset that debt. But the nefarious beings took over that. Now, all that money has been confiscated once these people have been taken down, brought through military tribunals, and some of them tried and some of them executed. And also through Executive Order 138, their assets were frozen and confiscated and taken back. So remember the scripture that says that the wealth that of the wicked is stored up or laid up for the righteous? Well, all that money that they stole that actually belongs to the creators and our ancestors of all peoples all across the globe, it's coming back, and we're going to be wealthy. So you have what's happening now. The announcement did not come on 9/11. But it's coming soon, and some say that may be why number 45 or number 19, formerly known as 45, is speaking on Saturday, January the 15th. I don't know, but that could be why the National Guard is on the ground. Perhaps it's going to be a huge announcement, but they're going to make sure everybody's safe and inside, and make sure that if these nefarious beings try to retaliate, we're already inside and safe. So be prepared, get your food, your water, your shelter, your supplies. Be ready to protect your Second Amendment rights and your families. So what is the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, and what does it do? I created a video about that. I will put a link down in the description center area. But number one, it zeroes out all credit card, mortgages, and other bank loans due due to the illegal banking and government activities. Number two, it abolishes income tax, which is why there was the House Resolution 24 and 25 to monitor the IRS. They were preparing us for this. This is also why the Federal Reserve duties and the IRS were merged into the United States Treasury under number 19, formerly known as 45. I'm just going to say 45. You all know who that is. So that all happened under 45 because he was getting ready to take down the IRS, but he had to do it in such a way it wouldn't cause a lot of chaos. It abolishes income tax. Number three, did I say that? Yes, and number three, it abolishes the IRS and creates 10% flat rate non-essential new items only sales tax revenues for the government. Number four, it increases benefits to senior citizens. And that's interesting because a senior citizen in my family member just said that their Social Security was increased this month by, it was just a little bit, I think it was by $100, but that's $100 more than we had seen last month. And I know this is going to increase by thousands. And I know because, let me take a step back. When the farmers took these nefarious beings and the Federal Reserve bankers to court and everything was won in their favor, they are the ones who paved the path for us to have NESARA. And so the first thing that has to be done is that the farmers have to be paid out, and also those who knew about global settlements and humanitarian projects. All this was going on behind the scenes. One of my mentors is involved in all those. They had to sign papers and tell the government that when the government gives them money, they would use that to create humanitarian projects. So let me get back to this. That's what's going to happen, as well as increased benefits to senior citizens. Number four, returns us to constitutional law to all courts and legal matters. They will also retrain attorneys and judges in constitutional law, because a lot of attorneys don't know constitutional law because they work for the British Queen. And I don't even know if they realize that the bar is the British Association Registry. That was underneath the Queen, but she's gone. So we know that. We who know that know she has no power, and she succeeded to our number 45, who's now known as number 19. Monitors elections and prevents illegal so don't worry about them talking about what they're going to do. They're going to be over all the voting rights. I don't know why people, listen, don't get all worried and frustrated. They want you to get frustrated and think they're going to take control. They're not going to win. We will win. We, the people, are sovereign. We are winning. We have our ancestors that have returned, and the Galactic Federation of Light who have come back to help us. And now we know that we have power and we're going to use it. So don't you worry about this. It's going to make everything lawful. Creates new United States Treasury currency, which is backed by gold and other precious metals. Many say that it's rainbow currency. And we have people both in the United States and Canada that say they have actually seen it, and it's in the banks. Number 9, initiates new United States Treasury banking systems that's in alignment with constitutional law. So if you look at the Dodd-Frank Act, you know that the way it was revised was so that they can't do any backdoor deals through the bank and do any nefarious activities with our money. You know about the quantum financial system that was created as well, that monitors all banking systems and won't allow your money to be stolen, and it won't allow you to do anything nefarious with the money because it is heavily guarded and monitored by the Galactic Federation. Eliminates the Federal Reserve System, restores financial privacy. That's through the quantum financial system. And that's some type of blockchain technology, I think. I don't know, but it's actually sentient. Retrains all judges in constitutional law. We said that. Ceases all aggressive U.S. government military actions worldwide. In other words, there will be world peace and no more war. If you grew up in a Bible tradition or as a Christian, you know that the scriptures talk about 1,000 years of peace where Satan will be locked up. And there will be no more war, no more pain, no more crying. There will only be love, peace, and joy and abundance. This is actually happening right now. So you see all these things going on. Things are being shut down. That's the usher in this new reality. And as long as you keep your vibrations high and stay joyful and hopeful and create and look for opportunities, you and I will help co-create that. Establishes peace throughout the world. Number 15, initiates first phase of worldwide prosperity, distribution of vast wealth that has been accumulating for many decades. So each person will receive thousands of dollars per month. Yes, this is so exciting. Some of this is your money anyway that was created, generated through your birth certificate and your social security number, which is actually a bank account that people have been trading underneath your number. That money's coming back to you. Massive wealth to everybody on the planet, as well as a global jubilee where debt will totally be erased. Hallelujah. Enables the release of new technology such as free energy devices, pollution cleanup, and sonic healing machines. That's why I say silver is going to be important, because silver will be used for all of that. So silver is going to be in high demand. Why not take advantage of it right now while it's low? Buy the dip, as number 45 said. Reduces work week hours from 40 weeks to 20 hours per week so that you can be with your families and you can do the things that you truly enjoy. You can create businesses, you can draw, you can do your art, you can create entertainment to keep our vibrations lifted and help us to ascend. Number 19, gives everyone 21 and over at least $100,000 per month for 11 years for up to $20 million each in a non-interest bearing account. So people say, Pruitt, why would I work if I'm getting all that money? I don't know, but I have a mission and I have a purpose. I'm going to fulfill that whether I have money or not. And the more money I have, the more I can help my human family. So we all should have that mindset. So yes, that goes to a non-interest bearing account, and the money will be gold and silver backed and will be monitored in order to ensure that it's not spent on nefarious items like drugs, human T-word, and trafficking of drugs. So that's it. We are headed for a beautiful, brand new, wonderful, amazing, abundant reality. And those of us with an abundance mentality will help to usher it in. So be encouraged, family. This is wonderful news. Let Walmart close. Let these retail stores close. Let these bakers close. Let these big corporations close. Let them all shut down. Because you and I will create them ourselves within our communities, so our communities can once again thrive. You can teach your own children, your own community. You can create your own bank. Mom and them know how to bake. They can have their bakeries again. This is exciting. I look forward to going to the local grocery store, the mom and pop shops that's owned by people in my community, don't you? And then the different communities can do business together. No more division, no more discrimination, no more hatred, no more racism, only love, only community, only peace, only abundance. Because we are all in this together. We're all one human family. We've got to learn to get along and love each other so that we can also not only ascend, but also come to love and be in relationship with our galactic brothers and sisters. Let's go. Be excited. I'm ready. Remember, we're in this together. And where we go one, we go all. Mwah. Peace, family. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.